So just coming back to that place where you are present, and you can feel your feet on the ground. Just breathe yourself into that bowl, that golden bowl, around the kind of pelvis area, sacral chakra, base of your spine. Just let your hands come onto your thighs or lap, palm up, and let your hands be open. Just listen to that receptive shape. That shape is the second principle. The whole world is just resting in your hands. The whole sky is just touching your palms. The mystery of life is touching your palms. So if I were to put an object in your hand, your mind would name it. But your hand simply receives it as sensation. It's got that real childlike mind quality. Naturally has the background, unwrinkled mind. You can feel the aliveness in your hands. You can feel the shape of your hands. Your eyes are closed. And what I want you to do is to bring your hands up. I think you can do this without looking at the screen, but feel free as you wish. Just let your hands come up opposite your face. And imagine that these hands belong to a blind person. And they've asked your permission to touch your face so they might know you better. So just let your hands come in. Imagine they're the hands of a blind person who doesn't know. They're just looking into that silent mystery. And they need to touch your face to know you better. And so just let yourself start to explore, your features. What kind of nose do they have? What kind of skin texture do they have? What are their cheekbones like? What is the shape of their face? If you just had this touch, What kind of hair do they have? And as this is going on, just come into the one that is being touched. You're allowing someone to explore you in this way. What kind of ears do they have? It's a very kind of intimate thing to allow someone to do. So there's an element here of you really presenting yourself. Here am I, come. There's not only a presence, but there's also an openness to be touched. What kind of lips do they have? What kind of eyes? So you've kind of covered the whole surface area pretty much. Definitely of the face. Perhaps the top of the head. Are their brows furrowed? Where are the wrinkles? Or is there tension? And then just when you're ready, just let your hands come back down again. And just listen. How does the face feel? And you just might feel a certain opening or openness or an aliveness. It's almost as though, the face is more transparent now somehow. It can breathe. Before it was solid. Now it's more flexible. And then once again, I want you to, if you haven't, if you're not in this position, just bring your hands back into your palm, into your lap, palm up. You might have a sense that the hands and the face are similar, they're in repose in a similar way, or more lightly. So that's an interesting thing to see. And if you can feel that, you might notice it's not just in the hands and the face, but there are perhaps other places in you that are starting to soften with that. It's a very subtle kind of undoing. As you sit and as you breathe. That has echoes of this second life quality, second principle. But I want you to raise your hands once again. And this time, as you come up, you're bringing your hands up to the top of your head. And you're letting your fingertips rest right in the central line, the top of your head. Very light. And what we're going to do is we're just going to let the hands very slowly slide down. Just nice and slowly. So that you can feel it. So you might imagine that the skin is being gently pulled and becoming more smooth. Certain tension in the scalp is being eased. It comes down to your ears. And that downward sensation of, let's say, release is just coming through the neck. And if you can't touch the neck, then just sort of glide your hands over the space close to the neck and then the shoulders. And then just let your hands unfold down. Until your hands are down either side of your body. And just sort of feel that potentially that stroke, the whisper of that stroke, the shadow of that stroke is still there. From the top of your head all the way down and out of your fingers. And so again, want to lift your hands up. Return journey, just around the outside, back up to the top of your head. And this time, as you bring your hands down, just have the sense that the fingertips are sinking below the skin, below the skull to the surface area of your brain. And it's just going to, as you start that process again, just feel the pull, gentle pull. And just see the brain becoming more smooth. Those wrinkles of tension are, it's like smoothing of a tablecloth. And as you feel the sensation of your fingertips coming down, it's the mind unwrinkling. Just touching the ears, just giving you a rough timing. And if you can, just keep that touch going down your neck. But if you can't, because the restrictions of one sort or another, don't worry, but just make the gesture and the sense of that release coming down through the neck to your shoulders, like a cascade of water, carrying the tension with it. And it flows out and down as your arms unfold. And just listen to what the shadow of that touch. The after effect. And just be aware of your breath. So you can let your hands come back to your lap. Just be aware of your breath. And remembering the gesture. And with one in-breath, anyone will do. And as you get the feeling of breathing in, it's as though your arms are raising up. Kind of touch the center of your skull, center of your mind, brain. And instead of using the hands, you're just going to, as you breathe out, there is an unfurling. You breathe in to the center of that, and then as you breathe out, there's just more unfurling. So as the mind starts to soften and uncurl, the brow starts to relax, forehead. All those names held. Kind of relaxing is the relaxing of the foreground mind into the background mind. It's releasing the barrier of knowledge into wisdom. Maybe not every breath, but every now and again the breath is like a stroke. And that stroke is undoing the doing. And there is this cascade of release. Even if you just feel one of those, as it were, inner out breaths, you feel that beginning of the softening. That's it. That's the dynamic, the embodied dynamic of the second life principle. And so, this is we're coming to the end. Just once more feeling that golden bowl grounding you. And in the holding of that golden bowl is this releasing. And the truth is that whilst everything looks to be solid, it's all in this process of becoming. Just as you are, if you look into your body, your blood is flowing, and cells are coming and going, being made, coming to the end of their life. And everything is in this flow. You might want to, just as you're coming out, just contemplate, those times when it would be really helpful to allow this, to remember this, perhaps today. You realize you're caught in a cycle of routine or particular kind of historical relationship, and then just start to release that and see what is. Let it be. Let it be. If I were to meet bin Laden, I would listen deeply.